Good morning, or afternoon, or wherever or whenever you are watching and listening to this. Hi. Welcome to the sixth episode of the Digital Quill podcast with your host, Mars Wilson. I'm me. Hi. Today is an interesting episode, I'll give us that. We are going to talk about my book and everything that has led up to this point for me to get this book out there. I have some materials here. Just some. But there's plenty more where that has come from, and let's just go right into it, huh? Of course, there's going to be tangents and other things along the way. There always are, but let's just do it. Let's just dive in and talk about 21 Days Gone. The myth, the legend, and eventually the reality. First, we are going to start with the 21 Days Gone Bible. I'm going to read you some of it, and then we're going to talk about it, alright? 21 Days Gone, once dubbed as The Girl Who Lost Her Tattoo, is a personal take on my own life, as Nicole's world is created. The perspective for this dark and intense thriller is ever changing as we see Nicole's view in many ways, both from herself and other people. 21 Days Gone is 21 Days Gone is the kind of story you'll spend a summer in. 21 days of summer, held captive, and it will be a summer you can't forget. Experience and explore Nicole's emotions as she's, in this story for us. I have to be very careful with what I want to say because I have a visualization on how I want this to go for creating the story and birthing it to life. It's already in parts and already created, but there's still pieces to the puzzle I'm missing. I like to view things as a bigger picture, and all the little individual pieces, like they're minuscule pieces, but they somehow all form. It's kind of like that. I have a lot of it. There's just some missing pieces that I'm getting to. That's what May's for. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this. I probably have. I'm just going to say it again and probably many more times. I'm going to be slowing down on writing articles and most of my content from the future, starting May, will be podcast only or what you do see from me on my socials. I am taking all of May, every energy, everything I have to go right into that. Everything I've been planning for the last year and a half and more has been for this, and I am excited and nervous, and I am ready to bring this story to us. And it's so weird because it's like I'm sitting here and I'm always thinking about it, and it's been in my mind and in my head and for a long time now, and I finally was able to find the words to describe it. Right? I started being able to find the words to describe 21 Days Gone and how it matters and why it matters and why it is a book that needs to be read and at least by one person, and why I hope that it helps, and just why I hope my story intertwined into this fictionalized story can help someone. And I'm writing it, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm living it, and I'm breathing it, and I'm gearing everything up to make sure that this is the one thing I put all my focus and energy and attention into. And there's these things that happen, right? Baby reindeer, for example. At moments when I feel like is it worth it? Should I keep going? Should I do all of this? Is everything I'm doing, like, does it matter? And I come across media that captures my attention, like The Storyteller. Or I was watching one of my stupid shows, like literally just my passing time shows, like I guess a comfort show, but I'm like, it's still new. They still have new episodes. The American version of Ghosts. Okay, I haven't given the UK version a look yet, but apparently the UK version, according to the UK, is not that great. Maybe, I don't know. I need to look into that more. But Ghosts. There was a scene literally last night when I was thinking, like, I don't have a connection to this book. Do I? Or, like, I mean, I do, but, like, I feel like I'm losing it. And do I continue? Like, am I doing it? And I was watching Ghosts, and the scene last night was, I don't want to give it away, but there was something that said, something along the lines that said, we can turn a true story into a fiction. And I'm like, well, that seems to be a reoccurring theme in my life right now. Okay. Onward I tread. And that's why I'm here today talking about this book, because it needs to be said. This book, I can't explain it. I can't explain to you in just so many words what being a writer means to me, or writing in general, or the spoken word, or human connection, or communication on any level. Like this, the ability to do these things is, we have no idea how incredible and how powerful it is. And if I can take my trauma, if I can take the hell, the bullshit I've been through, turn it into fiction that people can digest, because it's not easy to digest in its reality. I know that now. Then maybe what happened to me and so many other people won't happen again. Maybe, just fucking maybe, if you're about to make a shitty fucking choice, you read this book and you change your fucking mind. Just a thought. Maybe this can get through to some people, I don't know. But I am just one voice of millions, and I hope my one voice added to the millions helps. I hope it fucking does, because holy heck, guys. Life is a fucking trip, and I think we have the capacity to get better. I really do. I do believe humans can change, and I do believe that we can become better than we are. There's something I wrote down on the first page of this section of the other 21 Days Gone Bible. It's, Scooby-Doo taught us that monsters aren't ghosts and goblins, but rather the people in masks. And sometimes people wear masks without realizing it. Sometimes they do realize it, and they're afraid to acknowledge that in themselves. Sometimes that's a personal journey. And sometimes the masks are so well hidden that you don't know what's underneath the actual person. But yes, Scooby-Doo, I'm wearing Scooby-Doo socks, taught us that ghosts and goblins are not the monsters, but rather sometimes they're the people under our beds. Sigh. Sigh, sigh, sigh. Ah, man. Some of these notes take me really back to, like, the first days of this, holy crap. Okay. We'll save some of those for another time. Maybe we'll burn them in the incinerator vault, but interesting notes. Very interesting notes. yeah, there are some details in the book that I've definitely changed to be more centered around, uh, I guess, like the reality, but also like, let's just say it went from rated M to like PG. Hmm. How did I how did I know those things? Oh no, I have some questions for myself. But whatever. Let's see. Did I ever talk about the original reason for 21 Days Gone? Or the original name reason? I think I did, but just to talk about it again. I thought one day when looking at my tattoo, um, that I wondered what my biological father would think if he ever saw it. And I just never had good feelings about like that. Uh, I saw his wrath a few times, and one of those was against his mother. But I just I think, let's just say that when you're insane, that's not a good start, but when you're insane, or when you've been through something insane, and let's face it, we're all a little insane because this is an insane world. We have to be fucking crazy to endure what we do or to live how we live. Like, you just have to be insane. And it's like, I don't know. I went off on the insane tangent and I forgot what I was saying, but I just, I remember now. When the freaking insane part of your brain enacts and it's like, oh no, I know how this person would react. So they're probably going to end up doing something like this. And then you're a writer and you overthink everything, so you're always constantly creating little stories inside your head of everything, and I do mean everything. It's kind of like a second TV in my head. It's why I'm not always worried about binging shows and stuff, because I have a constant loop, not really a loop, but like a constant like other world going on in my brain. It's like, I relate to Rick and Morty a lot more than I care to admit, in the sense that like the layers of story that go into story that go into story that go into story, like I can't remember the specific episodes, but the actual Rick and Morty fans would probably know, and it's like, that's what my brain's like, okay? And it's like, I wish it would stop. That's why I smoke weed. I wish it would stop. When I smoke weed, it makes it easier to bear, but that's about like the only peace I get from that, and even then it's still active, it's just quieter. So I'm a writer because of that. If I don't write freaking stories down and other things down, they'll live in my head and they'll fester, and I won't be able to sleep at night because I'll be dreaming while I'm awake. That's the best way I can describe it. It's insane. It feels insane to me. I hate it, but it helps, I guess. So thinking about that and other things, I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, because at one point I was like remembering, I think I've said this before, but I think I was remembering like how my mom and I used to joke, like when people would be like, write a book about your story, and we were like, haha, they'd probably put it in fiction because some of the shit that's happening is really insane and no one would believe it. But yeah, like the fiction part and then the book, and then I was like, oh. And then at around the time that the idea was festering in my brain, like I think I had seen like clips of the girl with the dragon tattoo, that one movie, and then I was like thinking about the book, and I saw the bold text of the book in the store one time, and I was like, oh, the girl who lost her tattoo, because that's a funny play on words. And I like plays on words. I'm a court jester. If I don't really, I like the idea of being a queen, but at the same time, I could never, 'cause I'm not cool enough. I'm just a court jester, an entertainer. I'll take that. I don't mind being the fool for everyone. It's fine. Um, but yeah, I just I had to turn that story into fiction, and I also kind of figured growing up when I was younger, I'm trying to go back to some of the values from when I was younger, like how much I wanted to help people with my story, and the fact that so many other people have that story or a similar story. It's like I need to do something. I feel an urge to do something, and it's this book and telling my story fictionally and hoping it helps. Hoping it helps a lot, or at least a little. I don't know. I don't want to sound pretentious or like I'm stroking my ego, because that's not what this is for. I'm actually gonna do like some giveaways of free copies. One of the things I want to do with the first initial release and with also the second is go to the little libraries, send some to friends in other states for the little libraries and say, hey, put these in the little libraries so people can read them. There are other ways to support me through other means, like hire me as a photographer in the future. I don't freaking know. Anyway, but just yeah, I don't want to really gain monetary or famous value from this. I just want to help people with this and have conversations that should be had and stuff like that. But yeah, the all the voices of like stories and like ideas and just on replay in my brain are helping me write this. And it's also like when I was younger, going back to like helping people and stuff, I also knew that all the years I spent in therapy and then got back into and other therapies and just everything like involving like fixing and healing and working on that, like I knew all of that wasn't going to help, that there was going to be some things that I was going to have to do throughout the rest of my life that helped with that. And one of those is like giving the pain a purpose by helping people and connecting with people and living. And in philosophy, that's where I learned that I don't know what other people believe, but life continues to prove to me over and over again that you make your own meaning in this world. You find your value. Also, life keeps proving to me over and over again, humans are a village species. We have a collective, like we all are on our own solo missions, but our solo missions are helping the collective mission, which this sounds insane, but I just have done a lot of reading and a lot of experience in things. So it's interesting to kind of ponder, I suppose. But yes, this book is also part of my healing journey. To write Nicole's story, to write my story into fiction, I'm looking at it in another way. I'm doing a lot of inner work when it comes to that, because one of the things that I started to kind of decide on, and it's something that I am now going to try to be a little bit more open about, because there's no reason to really not be, but also I do believe some things should and could stay private. You know, not everything needs to be said coming from an oversharer. But when I started realizing and actualizing what I wanted to do with 21 Days Gone, I started taking a look at my relationships with people and this is something I've kind of always done, but like I actually started taking a deep like look into things, an analysis on life as you would. There were some Instagram accounts and influencers in the realm of psychology and philosophy and stuff that I started following because they also had ties to like entrepreneurial type wisdom and stuff. So over the years, I've been kind of gaining that, compounded with the wisdom I've already had from the training in my earlier days. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so one of the things I should probably do, because when you go through something like that, like what happened, that there's certain traumas that come up, um, certain feelings that you tend to avoid, and things that you put aside because you don't know any better. And one of the things that I am putting aside because of my unhealthy relationship with it is sex. After years of just being a human, I am no longer considered sexual. I am celibate. I am not probably going to be doing that, but that is something I've decided upon for a lot of personal reasons that I'm not going to share. If you want to know, you can message me personally. I might disclose with you, but I'm probably not going to share it with too many people. But one of the reasons is also because of sexual trauma, because let's just say sex has felt very performative for others, not for myself, and a large part of that could be my fault. And that's something I need to address internally. But also there are other things. Yeah. So with that also like kind of happening with the book, it's able to give me a different kind of relationship with the book too, because it is a distraction. What the experts say or whatever, it's when you do take it out of your life, it is kind of interesting what it does to your mind and your body. Like, I'm not saying having it's bad, but it's there's a balance, you know, in a moderation to things, and some people can handle it more than others. Other people cannot. It kind of all just depends on your relationships and yourself and other things, and there's a lot we could go into on other episodes, preferably with people who know more than me, but 21 Days Gone is my lifeblood, and it's so weird because I'm having like a weird struggle. I'm confident over this book. I have no idea what makes me so. Like, I've never felt this confident or pride or this much pride in myself since I found out I was graduating high school by the skin of my teeth. There were a lot of tears that day, especially when I called my mom to tell her that. I had never felt more pride in myself, and that was like the first day in my life I had felt pride. And that's why I know what this feeling is. It's like a weird sense of confidence, a weird sense of pride. Like, I know, like, this is like my first book, and I know, like, this has been brewing in my head a while, and I know it's basically a part of myself, but, like, at the same time, like, I don't know if it's that. Like, I don't think the confidence is coming from that. It feels so much more. Like, I wish I could explain it. I've tried to break my own belief in it, but I can't. I've tried. I can't. That's probably a good thing. Maybe. I don't know. Questions to explore later. But, yeah, this is my first book, and I'm most 100% gonna be writing more. When I was a young kid, one of my first books was actually, funny enough, a story about my own life, but also the lives of a movie I had seen, Mirrors. In it was my dog Harley, who had a different name, but he was a Jack Russell. I wish I had that. I lost so many of my original stories, but that was I even wrote on the cover that this is like a story inspired by Mirrors, the movie. Fan fiction? Not quite. It was more like it was kind of an original-ish idea that was like a spin-off idea of like how Mirrors had done its concept. Like Mirrors was a horror movie if I remember correctly. It was like around the time I had started getting into horror. And yeah, I was thinking about my dog. Me like when I put myself in my stories as a kid, cuz all I really knew was like me and like my few people that I knew. I would insert myself but like at different ages or genders. I was always a fan of making male characters in video games, cuz for some reason I always got bothered by making like self-inserted video game characters unless it was The Sims. But even then, I would alter very much. Not quite gender, but other things. But yeah, that's like the thing. Like my stories, I always kind of incorporated what I like, who I knew, and like built off of that. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of like listening to people tell stories, and then ask a lot of questions, and then also watch a lot of shows and read a lot of books, because everything is like character profiling to me. Like I'm compounding like patterns and behaviors, and when you have autism and ADHD, you understand where this is going, and you're starting to understand the new hell I live in. But this is a good hell. It's a creative hell. It's a philosophical, creative hell, and I'm okay with that. It is not the hell that I grew up in. It is not the hell I left. Hallelujah. Praise whatever we praise in these times. But yeah. One of the things that I've been actually trying to do, and I really hate that I'm doing this, but I always knew that I would. I like lists and things, and I like timelines, and I like piecing together the truth of things, and I'm trying to figure out exactly when I was adopted, and when everything went down, when all the police reports went out, what time of day and day of week and month, year, all of that stuff of when I was taken, and just everything, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to find all those records. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. I have a lot of research to do for the book, and also I have a lot of phone calls and emails and mail to send. Oh boy, I'm going to be busy in April, the rest of April and March. Am I even going to be able to write for the rest of April? We shall see. We shall see. The stuff I have to do is not really taking away from anything else, so I'll just worry about that on my own. But yeah, we should have a counter. How many times do I say that? How many times do I say but yeah? Is that my new thing? Is that my new but Please don't let that be my new thing. Please don't let that be my new thing. No, I don't need that to be my new thing. Ugh, I really wish I didn't open the blinds. It's so bright and blah blah blah. Let's see. What can I talk about? Oh, okay. So how's this for a bit of a... I don't know how much I want to say. How much do I talk about? How much do I give away? You know what? Research. How do people get taken? I understand the problem with writing crime fiction now. I'm sorry, guys. We are probably on some lists, aren't we? I mean, with some of the research of aliens and things I did back in the day, I'm probably on some lists. But I'm definitely on a list or two now after this. Oops. For the record, this is a book. I'm a writer. If any like FBI or CIA officers watching this, writing. Ooh, okay, so earlier I said the line about this will be a summer you'll never forget. Well, guess what? Oh god, this is creepy. Do I share this? Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Okay. That line is actually a very important line in 21 Days Gone. And the reason being is because back when I was kidnapped, abducted, or whatever, as a toddler thing, older toddler, child, I don't fucking know. I was in first grade, I think. But, the weekend before he took me, he looked at mother, my grandmother, my mother, and he told her that this would be a Mother's Day that she would never forget. That's a clue. That's a clue for the timeline. Ha! You guys just helped me. Thank you. Thank you. You just helped me. You just helped me without even realizing it, and some of you aren't even here right now. I'm just talking to a microphone. Cool. Yeah, I'll save that tidbit for a definite later day. So, what's interesting about the memories and stuff I'm taking from the real life actions of the inspired characters, I feel like I should change the names, but I'm too far in, too deep. The names are the names. They're staying. I don't care how much the likeness is. I mean, I do, but at the same time, this is my story, and I'm the author, so mine. They're staying. I already changed one title. I don't need to change more. But, there are some things I'm definitely going to keep under wraps until later, because they seem weird. And they do have a connection that I don't even quite understand yet, and I don't know if I'm ever going to. But we'll see. We'll see. Life is weird like that. Every single instance in the book and every single character you meet does have a real life accolade or something, real life whatever. There are going to be very few things that are going to be fictionalized, but you'll see. You will see. You will see. I hope you guys enjoyed the book when it comes out. And who wants to be a voice narrator for the audio version? Any takers? Because I don't want to do it. Don't make me do it. Please. Do it. Send me your voice clips in Discord. Or anywhere else, I guess. I will add my Discord link for my community in the channel. It is still in its infantile stages, so bear with us. You're maybe on the ground zero of a good thing. Let's see. Anything else? But the memories and the instances, besides the people, most of them have actually happened. I'm gonna maybe include a side-by-side, because everyone gets curious when you see something based on a true story about, the story, and they do digging. Well, I'm going to do the digging for you because it's also for me. I need the internet sleuthing on this. So I'm going to do some digging, and I hope it helps you do more digging. But anyway, if the information's out there, let it be known. But yeah, it's like they all happened, and they may not have happened at the exact moment of the actual kidnapping. They might have happened 2 years before, 5 years after. So just be warned that the timeline is not a just 21 days, though it's going to seem like it. And if there's anything life continues to teach me, is that you can have lived many lifetimes in one life. I am 26, going to be 27 at the later half of this year. And I feel 106. No, excuse me, I feel 206. I feel like I look 206. But, I'm under a lot of stress right now. But, 'cause there's some things going on. But, yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just nosed it. My bad. This book is integral to me, and it is my lifeblood, and pretty much everything I'm doing, especially everything I'm doing in May, is going to be for the life and power of this book and myself, because I am going to pour all of me. I'm going to need a 4.5-year vacation after this. But I'm not going to have that. So, on we tread. We're coming to the end, where I tell you to do all the internet things. Subscribe on YouTube, like this on Spotify, comment, share it, subscribe on the Substack, read my writings. Stay tuned for another episode, or don't. Don't do any of those things. That's okay. Sometimes I don't even do all those things, but I try to. I try to throw the likes and the comments and the shares where I can, because apparently it helps. I honestly think money might help more, but I don't like that. I believe in good organic growth. I've seen it work. So we're going to do it that way. People who can pay the money and can be okay with doing that, go for it. Some people aren't like that, though. I'm one of those people that aren't. Sometimes I wish things were different and I could take the easy way. But life to me is not about the easy way. It's about the journey, not the destination. It's about who I meet along the way and the things I experience along the way, because that will make whatever I went through make sense to me. And if you live differently, that's okay. We all have freedom and free will on some level after all. And yes, those are two different things. We will philosophize on another episode. Is philosophize even a word? Philosophically speak on, I don't know. Thank you for getting 38 minutes into this show, and thank you for being here today. You are a wonderful human being, even if you don't believe it. As always, keep going, humans of Earth. I think we've got this. I'm pretty sure we do.